Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel and taking time to watch one of my videos. This is going to be part 3 of my workbench foldable leaf. Uh, this will be the last one come hell or high water. I need to finish this project because I got other things in the works. Anyway, let's get started on it, and I'll update and show you what I've done so far, and we'll go from there. Well, before we get started, I'm going to show you an addition I made to my garage. I put in I had it put in 24 by 24 concrete pad in front of the door. That's the entire width of my garage. And then where I park my tractor, I put a 12 by 12 concrete pad, which is 4 inches deep, and eventually between the two sheds here I want to put a carport for the tractor. Also, they made a ramp for my wood shed. If you remember, I had a wooden ramp that I built so I could wheel things in and out of the windshield shed when I needed to, and they built the concrete and made the concrete ramp right into the doorway, so that's very nice. Anyway, that's my newest addition to my garage. It's something I've been wanting to do for several years, and I finally got it done. Bowing a little bit in the middle just from the weight, so I think we're going to have to put some kind of a strengthening thing right here up underneath. Okay, so what I did to address this middle part here sagging down a little bit, I took some angle iron that I had in the back, some scrap angle iron, took some bolts and recessed them into the wood. Then on the bottom I put bolts on it. That looks like it straightened it. The downside is I'm going to have this little gap between the old bench and the new one. Couldn't find any way around that. I could have, I guess, indented it, but that was just too much work. But anyway, that was my solution for the bench that was sagging a little bit in the middle. Hopefully that straightened it out. If it didn't straighten it, I haven't put it on there yet to find out. At least it'll stop it from warping any further. These holes here, I recessed them into the wood, and I'll take some 1/2-inch dowels and put some dowels in there and cover up these screws. Those will not be seen in the finished product. So anyway, that's as far as I've gotten on this problem. Okay, one problem I mentioned, I believe it was in the first part of this series, is where the latches to lower the brackets are. The problem that I didn't anticipate is the latches to bend it down are about right here and right here. So I think is what we're going to do is I'm going to mark it and cut maybe a 2-inch hole so I can stick my finger down there, pull up on that latch to fold it down. Well, I didn't like the idea of having to drill holes into the tabletop, so I came up with a solution. I made just a little piece of metal with a bend in it. I drilled a hole through the side right here. So now I can put this in here, put a screw through, I can get it in there like that, and now my lever is at the end of the bracket and set it up here in the middle. I'll take a zip tie and zip tie this to right here so it can't move back and forth like that. And then when I need to lower the bench, I can just reach under here, push down, and it releases. So that's my solution for that. We'll see if it works or not. Okay, we're going to start on this side. Oops! Glue came out a little fast. Okay, let's start on this side. We're going to put just a little bit of glue around it. I'm going to do it over the floor so it don't fall on the wood. Just a little bit. Just enough to hold it in there. We'll take a small hammer and tap it into the hole. Okay, we're going to let those dry overnight. And then tomorrow we'll take the Japanese saw and flush cut the pegs. I've got 5 more holes on the front side. I'll do those off camera. And then we're going to put it on the brackets, and we need to come up with some kind of support legs for the front. I don't trust those brackets that I bought as far as it being stable enough to work on projects on. So we're going to come up with some kind of we're going to come up with some kind of front leg system that can fold in on the table. When I fold it down, and then when I fold it out, I'll be able to drop the legs down and it'll support the front of the leaf. Okay, it's been a couple of days. Actually, it's been a couple of weeks.
Take 2 weeks. 2 weeks? 2 weeks?
I've been debating how I want to make these support legs in the front, and came up with a solution. Let's turn the camera around and I'll show you what I did. Here are my support legs. That's what I did, is I made slots right here. So it slides, the top of the leg slides in and out of the bottom of the table. And then on the bottom, I used 1 by 1 inch square tubing. And then I captured that square tubing by making a sleeve out of wood, so the square tubing can move up and down. In order to hold the square tubing on the floor, I used a C-clamp. I indented the C-clamp into the wood. I made a hole on this side so that C-clamp is permanently on there. It's not going to fall out. So when I put down the square tubing, I can just tighten up the C-clamp, and I have a table leg. When I want to pull it out, I just loosen the C-clamp and then pull it out. I haven't attached it to the table yet. And it comes out like that. And then when I'm not using it, I can just take it, screw the clamp down to keep the 1x1 tubing inside the wood, and find a place to store it. I may make some saddles to store them underneath. I haven't decided yet. Is what I want to do is first drill the dog holes so the dog holes line up with the original table, and then when I'm done, I'll find a way to either mount it on the bottom of the table or maybe just hang them on the side of the bench itself. I haven't decided yet exactly how I want to store them. But anyway, that was my solution. And it's nice and rock hard. It's very sturdy and steady now. And I don't have to worry about those corner clamps. The corner brackets moving around on me. So that was my solution. I got a big mess here. I'm going to take some time and clean up my mess now that I got these done. And we'll get back and we're going to start cutting some dog holes. Well, we did it. We reached a milestone. The workbench leaf is officially attached to the L brackets. The front legs are on. Very happy with the way these legs came out. They really are going to sturdy the table. Our next step is going to be putting in the dog holes and the T-track. Let's walk around to the other side, and I want to talk a little bit about the original bench. I put in these dog holes, well, probably 3 or 4 years ago, I guess. And because the bottom of the bench has drawers and things like this, I made the bottom of the top solid, so it doesn't go all the way through, which is why I made these little pegs. Made a little thing with a magnet on it, and when I need to use a dog hole, I can just pull the peg out, use the dog hole. When I'm done, put the peg back in. And that keeps sawdust and screws and drill bits and everything from falling down through these holes. Because once they fall in there, they're gone. There's no getting them out. So that's how I did that. On my bench vise, I put 2 dog holes on the vise, 2 dog holes in the front. So I can use the dog holes in conjunction with my vise if I need to, and it has come in handy. However, I didn't put dog holes here on the edge, which I should have done. It would be much more convenient. When I'm working on sanding or planing or something like that, I have to reach way over and it gets uncomfortable. If I was on the edge like that, it would make it more comfortable and more practical to use these on the edge. For a bigger piece, you would use the middle ones, but for like a small piece or something that you're just working on, I would like to have dog holes here on the edge. And since we will be refinishing this top, when we refinish that top, I'm going to go ahead and put these dog holes in here. I wanted to continue these bench holes all the way across onto the new top. But for some reason, that day I had a brain fart, because from the edge here to the middle of this dog hole is 9 inches and 13/16. This one, from this edge to the middle of this dog hole is 10 inches. So these dog holes are not square with the bench. I have no idea how that happened, but it did. And I'm not afraid to admit when I make mistakes. I'm a amateur woodworker at best. So mistakes happen. So anyway, I decided that we're going to put the dog holes in that one and start with a clean slate. I'm not going to follow these dog holes. I'm going to make separate dog holes. And I'm going to put them in there differently than I wish I would have had it done on this side. So anyway, that's the plan. I'm going to start with a clean slate on that side. Let's start doing some drilling. Okay, before we start drilling the holes, I want to put in my T-track first. So once I get the T-track in place where I want it, I'm going to put holes on the edge. Then I'll probably go 1, 2, probably 3 rows over here. I'm not going to put any holes up here because, not for now anyway, because it's so far of a reach. Most of the time when I'm working on a project, I'm within probably 18 inches of the edge of the table. I'm not going to be working up here. If I do need to clamp something up here, I will have the T-track on the original table to use. So for now, we're just going to put the T-track right here, which is about 4 inches from the edge. And then we're going to put the dog holes right here. On that side, they're 5 inches apart, which I guess was okay. I didn't really notice any whether it's advantage or disadvantage to them being that far apart. I think I will go maybe 4 inches on this side and just make them a little bit closer to each other. Maybe it'll make it more versatile. Don't really know. I'm just kind of making things up as I go.
I'm going after that truck.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm making this up as I go.
I'm going to use my Bosch Colt router with a 3/4 inch flat bit to make the dado. The problem with using this router is I don't want to take the dado all the way to the edge. I'm going to start the dado from here and I'm going to here. I'm leaving 3/4 of an inch on each side. And I need to do that so when you slip in a T-nut, T-bolt for your clamps, you've got room to, on the edge here, to slide it into the T-track. But when doing an inside dado like this, the only way you can get that level is if you tip it up like that and then come down on top of it. What you really need is a plunge router. And I have one that's a Sears Craftsman plunge router, but it's one of the large ones. And I find it more awkward. I like, because of my short stubby fingers, I like the feel of this one. So, I ordered a Bosch PR011 plunge base for palm router. This is actually a kit you can buy on Amazon. It has been in my save for later list, probably 3 years when I first saw it. And I've been kind of waiting for it to go on sale. And then when it did, I didn't order it. And I finally got 20% off it the other day and decided, you know what, I'm just going to get it. And it is a router, plunge router base for the Bosch Colt palm router. So, okay, I have this router set up with a plunge base on it. We're going to cut a dado that's 3/4 inch wide, 3/8 inch deep. I've got it set up for 3/8, and we're going to cut 1/8 at a time using the turret here on the bottom. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about this plunge base for my router. If you look right here, I did a quick review on it. You can watch that video if you want more information about this plunge base. But I do have it set up for 3/8 inch deep. It's a 3/4 inch router. And I have a piece of scrap wood that we're going to use to make sure that I have this dialed in exactly the way I want it before I cut the dado in the tabletop. So I've got it plugged in. Let's do our first cut. I've got this set up for 1/8 increments with the turret. So we're going to cut 1/8 inch at a time until we get down to 3/8 inch deep. Here's the first cut. We're going to release it. Turn the turret to the next lower level, which is another 1/8 inch. And do it again. Take it to the lowest level, and that should be 3/8 of an inch. Okay. That should fit in there just perfect. It's a little bit tight. Let's see if we can tap it in there. My main concern is the depth, because I can adjust the width. The depth looks like it's good. It's in there, and it's just a tad underneath the surface right here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but that's what we want. I want a nice tight fit, and I want to make sure it goes down to at least flush with the surface of the material. And I'm just right now, just a hair, it feels like I can feel just a little bit of an edge right there, which is just fine. So I think we've got that dialed in where we want it. Let's turn the cameras around, and we're going to make our dado into the workbench. All right, before we cut it, I was going to show you what I did here. I took a straight edge and got it placed where I need it. So we've got a nice straight line that's parallel with the edge. I took some scrap wood and made myself a bump stop so I don't go any further than I need to with my router. And then here in the middle, I put another one that I clamped to the other end of the bench. This will stop this. If I put too much pressure on this, it'll stop it from bending in on me. Okay, we got everything ready to go. Let's go make a dado. I'm going to put my turret at 1/8 inch increments. I don't want to cut it all at once. If this don't work or I screw up, we have to start all over.
Snaps. Gotta start over.
Dun, 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 dun. If you don't have one of these little handheld blowers, you're missing out. I use this thing all the time. I never thought I would use it, and I got it on Amazon Vine, did a review on it, and man, I use it every day. Good little tool to have in your shop. Okay, let's do the second pass. We're going to move the turret down 1 increment, and that will move it down 1 more 1/8 inch. Okay, now let's take it to the very last one. This dust is making me sneeze. Let me get a Kleenex. I'm sure there's going to be somebody out there that says I should have a mask on while I'm doing this, and he would be right. But we've only got 1 more cut to go, so we're going to bite the bullet and just do it. Let's take our T-track and see how close we are. Let's get my hammer and we'll tap it in a little bit. It's nice and straight. It came out very well. And it is a tight fit. Needs to go down a little bit more, but I've got space on the bottom to do that. So we're going to call that good. Now the problem I have is getting this out. We're using one of my clamps and just pull it just like that. But that is a good dado. I'm happy with the way that turned out. I don't know why. Like any other tool, this plunger base has a learning curve. I don't know what I did wrong. We had it deep enough over on that scrap, but when I brought it over here, I don't know if it moved or I did something wrong. I didn't have it deep enough or what. But the important thing is we got it cut. Okay, we're ready to put it in the T-track. I just want to make sure it fits and it's level and flush with the surface all the way across. And I took a little piece of plywood, sanded down the edge a little bit so I can take that edge, put it in the T-track, and tap it down a little bit at a time. I've got it about where I want it. I've got about 3/4 of an inch on this side and 3/4 of an inch on that side. So let's get it tapped in there. Got just a little bit of an edge. We're going to have to go just a tad bit deeper. I'm going to do it off camera. it's got just a little bit of an edge here. I want it to be flush. I don't want this poking out. So I guess I was smart not to remove my straight edge or my stops. So now we'll take the router. I'll move it down just a tad bit, maybe another 1/16 of an inch. And then we'll make one more pass. I won't do it on camera. I'll let you turn the cameras back on when I have it in where I want it. Okay, the T-track is in. I'm satisfied with the depth of it. It's flush with the tabletop. And that's one step closer to getting it done. We're going to start drilling holes. I'm going to put the bench dog holes on this between the T-track and the edge. And we're going to put 3 rows here in the middle. So that's going to be our next step. Okay, now that we have the T-track in, I've got it set in the groove. Don't have the screws in yet because we're going to stain the top and refinish the top with some stain to match the other one. So I'm going to wait until I get it stained before I permanently screw in the T-track. I've got my bench dog holes plotted. I've got 4 holes going up to right here, and then there's 10 across, so it's going to be 40 holes each. Okay, I've got my drill guide set up. I've got a 3/4 inch spade bit in it. I had an option of the spade bit. Had the option of the spade bit, or I had one like this. I believe this is what I used to cut the dog holes in the original bench, but I can't find it. This is a 1 inch and it's too big, so that one's out. This one looks pretty dull and dirty, so I'll put it in the ultrasonic cleaner and clean it up. But I decided the spade bit looks pretty good. I think we're going to start these holes and see how well it does. If it tears out of the bottom a little bit, it's not that big a deal, since the bottom is not going to be seen anyway. But let's get started and start drilling some of these holes. We've got about 40 holes to drill. I've already took my center punch and center punched each hole to make sure I'm exactly where I want to be. I think I will turn this around this way so I can keep my hand on this handle like that. I've got it in the hole. I want to make sure this stays flat. I don't know why it's not flat. But I'm going to have to do that because of this dado in here. This leg is not flat on the table. I think that'll work. So let's drill the first one and see how well it does. Start out kind of slow to make sure we get a good start. think that'll work. Let's get let's try it and see if it fits. Make sure it's a good tight fit, which it is. I can live with that. So I'm not going to bore you cutting 40 holes. So I think is what I'll do, just shut the cameras off. When I get done getting all the holes cut, I'll turn the cameras back on. We got all the holes drilled. Let's grab the shop vac and clean up my mess. Okay, I see a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm going to put that base plate on it, so I've got the two handles side by side, and we're going to make some chafins. We're going to make some angled chafers. I said it earlier in the video, and now I'm having a brain fart. Anyway, we're going to make some, we're going to run those holes all with a chamfer. Chamfer, that's it, it's a chamfer. So that's our next step. And then once that's done, I'm going to do a little bit of sanding, and I'm going to sand that other one too a little bit, because when I refinish this one, I'm going to touch that one up a little bit. So, and then guess what, guys? We're going to have this project done. How about that, huh? That light at the end of the tunnel is getting closer and closer. Okay, I'm ready to cut those chamfers in my holes. Is what I did is I made some holes out of in a piece of scrap wood and tried different depths. I was trying to match the chamfers that I have on here, but decided I'm not even sure if I'm using the right bit or not. The closest that I can come to is this one right here. So I think that's the one we're going to go with. And we'll set the camera up, and I'll do a couple holes for you. Okay, let's try the first hole. When I turn the router on, I'm going to go in a counterclockwise position. You always want to run your router in a counterclockwise pattern. So let's do the hole first. So let's do the first hole and see how it comes out. Cross your fingers. They come out really good. Let me take you in for a close-up. And that is what we're going to end up for our dog holes. That turned out really well. So now we just need to do 39 more of them. And we'll be done with this step. I'm not going to make you watch all 39 holes. Let's turn the camera off, and when I get done, as in when I drill the holes, I'll turn the camera back on. Last one. Oops, I missed one. I missed two. I guess it wasn't the last one. I guess I need to get my ice checked. In case y'all wondering what I was using a regular chamfer bit. I don't know why I got such a hang up on that damn word. Anyway, it's got a bearing here, and you just roll the bearing around the edge, and that puts that chamfer in the hole. It works out very well. Let's pick the camera up and take a look at it. The bench is officially done. As far as construction goes, I'm going to do a little bit of sanding and cleaning it up, and then we're going to stain it. And we're going to also stain the wooden legs right here. I'm going to put stain on the legs. And then we're going to call it done. Didn't think I'd ever see the end of this, but it's getting closer. Okay, we got this project done. I've got the front of it stained. I've got the T-track in. Of course, all the bench dog holes are drilled. I took some paint and painted the edges just to make it look a little better. So let's flip it up. Just like that. Now on the legs, instead of storing them on the table itself, I'm just going to put them on the bottom, and then they'll be easier to do, and it'll save me lots of time trying to find a way to store them on the table itself. Put that in there, loosen the clamp, and tighten it. We're going to do the same thing on this one. We're going to store them underneath here. Put them in like that. Loosen the clamp, and tighten it. One each workbench leaf. The clamps work good. I can take the clamps, I left enough room on the dado to where I can slide the clamp into the T-track. Works good on both sides. And of course the dog holes I can put in like that. So it came out pretty good, I think. To put it back down again, let's loosen the clamp, pull it out, tighten it, and put it away. Do the same thing on this side. Pull it out, tighten up the clamp, put it away. Just like that. Now instead of reaching way up underneath here, where the original brackets and stuff are. I've got the brackets right here and right here, so I can just kind of pick up a little bit, push down, and it releases. Goes back down to where it's supposed to. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. Leave a comment, please. Let me know what you think. And good luck on your projects. We're going to see you next time.